Hi everybody, Hunter here with SW Marine in Palo, Iowa. Today we're going to do a video walkthrough tour of a 2070 all-weld with a Drake Magnum series blind on it. Believe it or not, this boat has been in service for 11 seasons. It has had some maintenance and some nice upgrades to it, which is why it's in the shop here right now. We just got finished up on this project. On the outside, you can see we did give it a fresh camo SW Marine moist soil paint job. And we replaced the vegetation wire with our new vegetation rails. These are heavy-duty aluminum dowel that are welded onto brackets and then securely attached to the frame. These will hold up super well going through the timber, running through any flooded willows, things like that, and makes a great attachment point for any natural vegetation or even synthetic grass if you prefer to brush your boat that way. Up in the front of the boat here, you can see that this boat is equipped with an optional weeping deck hole that we install here at SW Marine. And then on the top side here, you can see we have the lids and spacers option. This is a 3-hole configuration, but it does have the versatility to where you can leave one of these spacers open and hunt 4 guys out of it if you want to. All right, so now that we're up inside the boat, guys, we'll show you the difference between a Drake Magnum and a Drake Super Magnum series blind. Go ahead and take a look at our other video we just released on that Drake Super Magnum blind. But the biggest difference is that you still have that high-low profile. But the high side is not quite as high for you. So when you sit down on the bench, you're not going to sit completely underneath the high profile side of the blind. Standard features on the Drake Magnum is that you've got decoy storage on the port and starboard side here. You can fit a ton of decoys in these bins. Keeps everything out of the way for you. In this decoy bin in particular on the starboard side, you'll see that it has an LP propane cylinder in it. This blind has the heat option. All of the propane lines are plumbed through the blind here, and typically you'd have 2 heaters mounted in the corners of the blinds. Up on the front bow deck, you can see that it is equipped with a big man ladder. This does have optional dog ramps that you can use to get your 4-legged hunting partners back up in the boat. Typically we hunt these off the high profile side, so that way the dog can jump off the front of the boat without having fear of hitting the ladder. Go retrieve your birds, swim around, use those dog platforms to be able to get back up into the boat, and make it very easy on your dog to get in and out. As we move over here, you'll see that we have the optional driving lid. Our consoles in our duck boats and our custom boats, when we build them, we put them on the front bow deck here. Off to the side, you're facing forward in a safe operating position. This particular boat has a gas assist air pedestal underneath it, so you can adjust that and be comfortable wherever you're driving the boat. This blind actually has the electrical package in it, so you can see that it's got cabin lights switched at the console here. It's also got the navigation and anchor light mounted to the blind, and then rigid industry LED lights for your driving lights, so you can see where you're going at night. These are the brightest, best lights on the market that we know, and that's what we use in our electrical package. Above and beyond that, we also have an onboard charging system, and then all of the wiring that's in this boat is ran through aluminum conduit and welded to the frame. So at the console here, guys, you can see all of your accessories are switched on the side here. This boat is equipped with an Atlas jack plate, so it does have a jack plate switch here to operate up and down. We also equipped this one with an optional digital position gauge, so you can tell where your jack plate's at. With this Duckblind in the rear wall configuration, you can't see where the motor's at, so having that gauge is imperative to having good operation of the boat. And then you can also see that we've got it equipped. We upgraded this for this customer, put Mercury SmartCraft gauges. We also have a trim gauge in here, and then a fuel gauge for the built-in fuel tank, which is an option as well, which is mounted behind that rear wall as well. All right, so inside the boat here, guys, we'll start in the back. We'll work up towards the front. In the rear wall here, this is an option. It completely encloses the back end of the blind, keeps all your heat in, keeps the wind and elements out. It does have a door to be able to access the engine compartment. Underneath here, you can see it's got a door that accesses into the bilge area as well. And then over in this far corner, you'll see that we've got an access door for our optional dog compartment. When we get out of the boat, I'll show you how that folds down and how your dog can use that hunt out of the back of the boat as well. As you can see, this customer has opted to have 4 heaters, so he's got tons of heat in here. He likes to be comfortable. He also likes a hot breakfast, so we've got a 3-burner stove plumbed into the propane lines here. This is all sitting on a low bench. This is an option that we have on the wider boats. Lots and lots of storage on this side here. Above that, you'll see we have the optional shelving welded into the blind frame. And then as we move over to this side here, you can see we're sitting on a nice custom bench. All of these compartments fold open, lots of storage up underneath there. You'll notice here we have gas lift shocks on here to keep the doors open. With all this storage in this high side bench, it's a great place to store more decoys, especially goose floater decoys, because you can leave the bins open and then stack them way up, so you can have just a ton of decoy storage in this boat. As you can see, the bench has got a padded seat on it wrapped in heavy-duty Cordura that's water resistant, so when you're wearing your wet waders in the boat, it's not going to saturate the bench and keep it wet. Moving back into the back side of the boat here, this was a new option that we installed for the customer here. This is a gun shelf, keeps your guns up high, keeps them dry, so when the dogs come into the boat at the end of the hunt and they're all wet, your guns and everything are going to stay high and dry. On the floor of this boat, you can see that we have equipped it with the optional HydroTurf. This goes all the way through the main compartment of the boat and also on the front bow deck as well for the dog. All right, so now we're going to show you how the lids and spacers work in an actual hunting application for you guys. We fold these down when you're hunting. It keeps everybody spaced out. You have your own shooting hole. Allows you to rest your gun on the rail when it's not in use. And then furthermore, if it gets knocked or something as it slides down the rail, it's going to hit these spacers, keeps it from toppling over into the blind, creating a safety hazard. The other thing that they do is they're really great at keeping the heat in as well. We've got vegetation rails on these to be able to attach some vegetation to them. This will be just a rough demonstration here, but you can brush these up really good and keep these in between you and keep the ducks from seeing you. These are just some cordgrass bundles that we put together. We typically save them and reuse them a couple of years when we have an opportunity. But you can also space these out in between the blind like so, just to reduce any amount of open space from an overhead view of the ducks. All right, so we're going to demonstrate the rear dog compartment here for you guys. This is nice because the construction is just seamless, all integrated into the blind when it's not in use. Makes for a great way to be able to hunt 2 dogs or simply just hunt 1 dog off the back of the boat. Ultimately, this just flips open here. This does have an optional bifold door here, and you just take it and you throw it overboard. It's got a nice rope on it to be able to retrieve it, so you don't have to get out of the boat to do that. Ultimately, the dog will hunt in the box here, jump out of the boat, retrieve your birds, then has a nice sloping ramp to be able to ease back up into the boat and retrieve your birds to you. All right, so on the rear of the boat here, guys, we're going to highlight some key features. On the trailer here, you can see this customer has opted to have 2 of the Rigid Industry LED lights. These are wired into the trailer, so when you put it in reverse, these actually turn on, will broadcast a nice bright light, so when you're backing into the boat ramp early in the morning, you can see where you're going. We did repower this duck boat for this customer with a Mercury 150 Pro XS. It's an EFI 4-stroke. It is mounted on an Atlas jack plate, and then the engine is plumbed into a built-in fuel tank with remote access back here in the splash well to be able to fill that up without having to get back into the boat. This customer does have the optional driving compartment light, so you can switch that on and see what you're doing late at night, early in the morning. And then over here on the other side of the splash well, you'll see the remote access for the onboard battery charger. So you can tend to everything without actually having to get up into the boat when you guys are done hunting. That pretty well wraps up our video walkthrough tour of the Drake Magnum Series blind. If you guys have any questions about this boat, give us a call. Our phone number out here at the shop is 319-851-3825. Once again, I'm Hunter with SW Marine, and thanks for watching.